I'm Randy Landry. Welcome to Pedal 101. This is a little bit of information for people who's never had a pedal before. A lot of harmonica players traditionally do not use pedals or have not used pedals, but they want to get into them and don't have a clue what we're talking about when we say pedal. So I'm going to give you a little rundown, let you know a little bit about what to expect and what to do with a pedal when you get it. This right here is the Harp Break. The Harp Break is a distortion pedal. It clips your signal or compresses it through LEDs, which causes a very nice crunch for the harmonica player. Plus it has this awesome bass boost that we all can use, and love that. Okay, so the first thing you do when you get your pedal, you read the paper that comes with it. Tells you a lot of stuff I'm going to tell you now. Very basic here. We got a drive control. Drive will control your distortion. The drive on all of my pedals that have both a drive and a volume, they interact. It interacts the same way as a volume and a master volume on an amplifier. Turn the drive up. To balance the volume, you're going to want to back that down a little bit on the volume. So more on that later. So drive controls distortion, volume controls your volume, and bass boost is what it says, bass boost. Right off the bat we have an input and an output, and we have a power jack. These are 1/4 inch input, 1/4 inch output. They use instrument cables, same as guitar effect pedals, not speaker cables. Speaker cables will give you noise, unwanted noise, and lose signal. They use instrument cables only on effect pedals, all effect pedals. This is a bypass switch, and what it'll do is put the signal in bypass to where the pedal's out of the circuit, and whatever you play goes straight through the pedal to the amplifier. And the LED goes off when it's in bypass. You click it again, the LED light will come on, and when it's on, the effect is in, and you'll get your distortion. Now, one thing to remember, when the light is out, it does not mean the pedal's off. The on-off switch is the input jack. When you plug in a microphone to the input jack, it automatically turns the pedal on, and the pedal's on all the time as long as you have an input jack plugged in. And don't matter if the LED's on or off, the pedal's on. So if you're operating off of batteries, when you want to turn your pedal off, you unplug your microphone, otherwise you run your battery down. Next thing, power adapter. Do not use power adapters off the shelf from Wally World or Amazon. Buy a pedal adapter that's made for effect pedals. I use Dunlop. You don't have to buy the power adapters from me. Just go to any guitar shop and buy a power adapter from there. Power adapter is going to be 9 volts, and it on the back of the pedal it shows you. It'll tell you the requirements for the power adapter, and it'll also show you a symbol that should be on the power adapter showing negative center. And the reason you can't use most power adapters off the shelf is that they're positive center. Won't work. You need a negative center. So you want one made for effect pedals. Pro tip, all of my pedals, even though they say 9 volts, they'll work on voltages up to 18. Anything happens, I'll warranty it, no problem. But they'll all will work up to 18 volts. So if you run out of power outlets on your power supply, and you got 18 sitting there not used, use it. Alright, I'm going to show you a battery install. Battery install is simple. Remove the 4 screws on the back. Here's your lead for your battery. Plug it in. Slip it in between the switch and housing and the enclosure. Put the back on, and you're good. The thing to remember is you can have the battery in and still use the power adapter. No problem. There's a switch inside of this plug or jack that will disconnect the internal battery when you use the power adapter. So whenever your power adapter is plugged in, you're running off the power adapter. You're not running off the battery. So you won't be running your battery down. You unplug it, it's back on the battery. You don't need to have a battery in. Don't matter if you have one or not. Be sure you always have good batteries. Most of my pedals, the battery will last probably over 20 hours on most effect pedals, but the delays only run, you get about 11 hours out of a delay. They use a lot of battery. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to set up the controls on the first time you get it. And this goes with any pedal. This is on my bench where I test all my pedals at. Okay, LED on, the effect is working, in, LED off, pedals in bypass. Test 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. Pedal in service, check, 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 check. You'll see this, the second LED. The second LED is a distortion LED. It's one of 2 distortion LEDs. When it's blinking, that tells you you're overdriving this signal, and you're getting a good crunchy, good distortion. Right now, I have everything balanced. My audio is going to be very much similar, or almost exactly the same whether it's in bypass or not. Check, 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 check. As you turn up the bass boost, it'll affect it a little bit. Check, 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 check. On drive, as I turn up my drive, and we'll start with clean. Check, check. So you got to turn my volume up a little bit. Check, 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 check. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Now, we turn it up. We're going to turn that back. Check 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. You can easily hear the distortion. Now, what we want to do when I say balance, if you don't move that volume control when you have your drive like this, it's going to be louder than it is in bypass, which you may or may not want. Ideally, to me, you want it to where you can put the pedal in bypass and you don't lose audio. So if you suspect a pedal or you want a pedal for an effect and you don't want it, just bypass it. And then you got the same audio, same level out of your speaker. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. See, it's lower. Check, check. Check, check. Let's balance it. Let's turn the volume back a little bit. Check, 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 check. See, it's very close to the same. Check, 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 check. If you have your drive turned down, check, 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 check. Drive turned down, lower activated than in bypass. Check, 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 check. We turn our volume up. Check, 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 check. And you get it balanced. That way, when you put it in bypass, you're good to go. Another thing I want to talk about is proper microphone. All effect pedals are designed for high impedance microphones. If you have a low impedance microphone, you need an impedance matching transformer. Otherwise, if you just have a cable, they do make cables that will go from XLR, because low impedance microphones are almost always XLR, plug on the bottom, vocal mic. They make connectors that will go straight from the XLR to the 1/4 inch, but do not have the impedance matching transformers in them. It won't work. The reason being, it lowers the level a lot. It lowers the level to where you do not get the proper drive for the effect to work properly. Effect pedals are designed for a certain level input. They're designed for maximum volume control level input. The reason they're designed for maximum volume is because not all microphones have volume controls. You need the pedal to work for all microphone controls. So Volume all the way up, always, when using an effect pedal. The XLR adapter has to have an impedance matching transformer. That'll give you the proper level into the effect pedal for it to work properly. There are some makers of harmonica microphones that are actually low impedance mics that have a 1/4 inch connector that'll plug into this and they won't work. They will work into a guitar amp because a guitar amp has a lot of preamp gain in it and it'll make up for that loss of level. But you need a high impedance microphone or a low impedance microphone with a high impedance with an impedance matching transformer. Volume control, I mentioned that, it has to be up all the way, all the time. I'll show you why. Straight up, typical, in line. Check, check, check. You see at this level, you'll see the blue light lighting. Check, 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 check. If your volume control's turned down, check, 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 check. The light no longer works, you're no longer getting the distortion. That's why it needs to be up all the time. That about wraps it up. I'll warranty them. Don't worry about messing it up. Don't worry about accidentally plugging in the wrong microphone or using the output jack with the wrong adapter plugged into it or something. I'll warranty it. I'll fix it if it breaks. It's pretty well made and it won't have a problem. Okay? If you got any problems, any questions, you can always contact me. There's tons of information on the internet. There's no sense in me playing through it. They got people who are actually harmonica players, have some great YouTube samples of this pedal. If you get one, it's one of the best sellers. You can take any guitar amplifier and really make it sound awesome with that bass boost and that crunch. Okay? Talk to you later.
Subscribe today. Click the subscribe button for hundreds of free harmonica lessons. If you like what I'm putting down and you'd like to support the cause, go the extra mile, be sure to visit my Patreon page. Patreon patrons, thank you very much. You're making these lessons an absolute priority in my life. No matter how busy I get, a free lesson happens every Friday. For as low as $1 a month, that's 25 cents a lesson, you can become a Patreon patron. If you're doing a little better and you can donate more, that's great. Every time you become a Patreon patron, you're helping somebody else out there that doesn't have a credit card, that doesn't have $1 a month, to continue to get free harmonica instruction and much, much more. Remember, we got product reviews here on this channel. We do videos on addiction and bipolar disorder. We got blues stories. We got performance videos and everything right here on Jason Ricci's YouTube. Subscribe today. I'd like to thank Honer Harmonicas, and I'd like to thank Blue Moon Harmonicas, making custom parts for any harmonica that you might have at home. Blue Moon has got you. The Lone Wolf Blues Company, pedals, amplifiers, microphones, you name it, much more. Right here out of Louisiana, the Lone Wolf Blues Company is bringing you the best in customer service for almost any kind of amplified blues harmonica needs that you may have. Speaking of amplifiers, Harp Gear amplifiers, check them out. The very best, Harp Gear, right out of Ocala, Florida. I got a website, www.mooncat.org. Check me out on mooncat.org. I got tour dates happening all over the place. I'm going all over the country this year, playing tour dates with J.J. Appleton, with Damon Fowler, with J.P. Soares, with my own band, with Joe Crown, all kinds of people. www.mooncat.org. T-shirts, lesson information, all of that. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. We do this every single Friday, and then every now and then I throw you some more stuff right here at Jason Ricci's YouTube. A Mooncat, love and appreciate all y'all. Thank you.